Oh Jesus, Johnny Macaroni! It's a flyer, it is a flyer. It really is a flyer. Hello YouTube, it's Si here from Si Moto Photo. Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be epic because we're taking out this all new Harley Davidson Livewire to put it through its paces and let you know what I think of this bike. I want to say massive thanks to the guys at West Coast Harley Davidson who have very kindly given me a loan of this bike for the day so that I can give you my thoughts and feedback as to, you know, if we've got anything to worry about in terms of electrification. Is it exciting? Are these bikes something to look forward to riding? Stick it in the comment section, let me know what you think of the bike. Let me know if you're excited about electrification. Are you looking forward to seeing what the future holds? Quite early on in the technology stages of these bikes, but you know, I think it's going to be exciting today to figure out what it's all about. And listen, thanks very much to everybody that's subscribed to the channel. Your likes and comments on the video are just epic and they help the channel out so much. So thanks from the bottom of my heart for really helping out the channel. But come on, we'll take this for a ride and I'll let you know what I think. It's weird having absolutely zero vibrations at all through the bars or the pegs. It's just so smooth. Now I've got it on sport mode, and when I initially fired it up, it said that I had 104 mile range. But I've been I've not been hanging about. I was on the motorway for a wee stint there just to get to this road, so I've maybe done about 7 or 8 miles to get to this road, but it's already shown 83%. So I think, you know, if you're riding a bike with performance in mind, you know, I think you're going to need to really plan ahead for, you know, when you stop and recharge the bike. But I think if you were doing sort of, according to the charts and things from Harley Davidson and Livewire, if you're about town and stuff, it will do maybe about to 150 miles. Whether you get that in the real world or not, it's another thing, but that's what it says. But it's certainly, it's dropped nearly 20 miles of charge, and I've done about 7 miles according to the trip when I first set off. But it really is a nice thing to ride, actually. It's a lovely sensation. This is the first time I've really ridden a performance electric bike, and this one's got 100 horsepower and 84 newton meters of torque. But unlike a petrol bike, you know, you don't have to build the revs to get to that, to get to those performance figures. They've pretty much got it instantly, so it's instant shove. It does handle well, it really does handle well. The seat on it's quite firm and it's quite small. I feel quite cramped on it, and I feel as if I'm really sort of pulled forward with the bars. You're quite over the front of the bike. But it's got some real good high quality components on it. You know, you're sitting with Brembo brakes on it, and you've got Showa suspension all round. It feels really it feels high quality. It feels really high quality. The dashboard's nice, it's well laid out. It's easy to read. It's got some, you know, some really nice features through the Bluetooth app, where you can have your turn-by-turn navigation, and you can have your music and stuff like that through the dash. You've got cruise control. If I was to give it any criticism, I would say I've came up to, you know, to a corner and went to indicate, and the indicator for the left hand is on the left hand stalk and the right hand's on the right hand stalk. And to indicate right, you need to get your hand off the accelerator to find the indicator, so you can, and it kind of whaps on a good bit of engine braking, because the bike does have quite a bit of engine braking on it. So, you know, if I was giving Harley Davidson any feedback, I would ask maybe stick the indicators on the one side, away from the throttle. But boy, it's a lovely bike to ride. So this Livewire comes in 3 different colours. It starts at $22,995. You get it in Nimbus Grey, you get it in Nightfall Blue, and you get it in this liquid black that I've got today. And the liquid black's lovely. It's really nice with the Livewire touches on the side of it. It's quite a compact bike, but it's a really, really nice bike. It's a 30-inch seat height that's on it. Now I've got a 32-inch inside leg, so when I'm sitting in the bike, I've got plenty of room. I've got a bend in my legs, so it's quite a low bike. Certainly for, you know, the adventure bikes, things like that I normally ride, this feels quite low. With a DC charge, this bike will charge in 60 minutes, which is quite something. I had it in charge back at the shop on just the 3-prong plug into the charger port at the top here, and there was half a charge when I got it, and that took about 8 hours to do the full charge on it to make it to give it a full charge for going out today. But they say that it will return between 149 miles and 95 miles, depending on how spirited you're riding the bike. So we'll see how that goes. It's got a 100 horsepower engine and it's 84 foot-pounds of torque, and it'll accelerate from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. And I tell you, 84 pounds-foot of torque doesn't sound massive, but it's the way that this bike feeds the power in. It's instantaneous power. There's no lag, there's no build up of power. It just surges from the very, very minute you turn the throttle and off it goes. It feels epic to ride, actually. Really impressed, actually. It's just so odd. I'm trying to get my head around no noise at all. Just this sort of haunting howl, what a whine. What a nice bike. The pickup is amazing. Oh my god! It's got serious grunt, serious grunt. The brakes are really good on it as well. They've got good modulation and good feel. It's mad, no clutch lever, nothing on this side. But this is where if you hand off the throttle and indicate, which is fine when you're coming up to a junction, but if you're want to indicate in advance as you come up somewhere on a country road, you need to take your hand off the throttle, which is a bit weird. But it's lovely. It's like the cockpit's really well laid out, actually. You can charge it from the house. I had there's like a charger socket you get under the seat in the bike, and I had it plugged into the house. I think it took about, it was in half a charge when I got it, and I think it took about 8 hours to fully charge it. But they say that you can charge this thing in 60 minutes on a high power charger, and that's awesome, because if you go for a run and you pull up in the bike and there is a high powered charger where you go, get a coffee, get a chat, and by the time you're finished, you pretty much get a full charge again, so that's manageable. But on the motorway, it's so smooth, again, no vibes, and it just picks up. It's instant acceleration. You don't even need to think about it. If you want to come out from behind a car and go past it, it's just there's no build up, it's just woof, straight out, straight away. One protection, as you'd expect on a naked bike. We're doing 70 miles an hour here, we're getting a bit of buff, and nothing major, but I think, anything sort of over 80 you're really going to feel it. But that's just the joys of a naked bike. But fantastic. I've not got a great view behind me with the mirrors. They could be doing with a wee bit more sort of, bar end mirrors would be really good in this bike. All I can see is my arms. I can hardly see a thing behind me, to be honest. I'm a wee bit better on the right hand side than I'm on the left hand side, but for some reason, don't know why that is, but they're pretty useless, to be honest. It's got 100 horsepower and 86 foot-pounds of torque. Now 86 foot-pounds of torque doesn't sound massive, but the way that this motor produces power right from the get-go, as soon as you turn that throttle, you've got instant grunt, it feels so much more powerful than the figures that are on the brochure would suggest. It's just, it really is quite incredible to ride, and it powers itself from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Now that is fast. You've got some really good high quality suspension on it. You've got Showa big piston forks up front, and you've got Showa in the back as well, which is all adjustable. You can really dial it in to set it up. It comes out the box quite firmly set up, but you can dial that out. There's plenty of adjustment in the suspension itself to get it to exactly how you want it. How you want it. The bike's got corner enhanced ABS and corner enhanced traction control, and you know, I dare say with the instant grunt from the motor on this bike, you know, traction control is something you're really going to want on the bike, and it's just going to help look after you and just make the ride just that little bit more safe. You get 5 rider modes on the bike, and you adjust them just using this little sort of cluster here. You've got, just check this out, actually you've got road, range, rain and a custom mode, and you just dial them in using the button here. It comes up on the TFT dash and then you're good to go. You sort of close the throttle and it sets the mode, whatever mode you're in. You've got a 180 section rear tyre, 120, and they're both 17-inch wheels that are on it, and it's running. Comes from the factory with these Michelin Scorcher tyres on them, and they actually suit the bike really nice. It coming through the roads earlier on, it was just it tracks really well, handles really nice. The tyres feel more than grippy enough. The brakes are really cracking on it. You've got radially mounted 4-pot Brembo calipers here, and you've got a little Brembo caliper at the back as well with sort of single piston, and it's great. They feel really good. They're really sort of really good feel about them. You know, they're not too grabby, and you've got great modulation. So the brakes on it are really good. Actually, you've got some really good stopping power with them. You've got a cracking little TFT dash. It's a 4.3 inch, and it's a touchscreen actually, and it's really well laid out. It's easy to read, and you know, when you pair it with a Livewire app, it can give you music and turn-by-turn sat nav all through the dash as well. So it's really cool. It's a really nice setup actually. Right, let's just give it a wee bit of acceleration, get out onto this road, and just see the pickup. Hello, doggy. Right, so we're sitting at 30 miles an hour, so let's see what the roll-ins are like to 70. So 30 miles an hour, open the taps. Oh Jesus, Johnny Macaroni! It's a flyer, it is a flyer. It really is a flyer. There's no lag whatsoever. It's just instant go, go, go. I've never actually experienced torque like that, and although the figures say it's only 84 foot-pound of torque, it's how that torque comes on. It's just instant grunt. This is good fun. Do you know what, right? I'm a petrol head through and through. It's probably 90% of the people that watch this channel will say that as well. You know, I'm a petrol head, and I'm absolutely, I'm in two minds about what I think about electric vehicles, right? But I'll tell you what, after riding this today, it's kind of put me at ease a wee bit, because if this is what we've got to look forward to, you know, I think it's still exciting. You know, yeah, you've not got the noise, but it's still great fun, and I don't think we've got anything to worry about. I don't think we'll be discarding the petrol bikes forever. I think we'll all have our own wee petrol bikes after the petrol bikes are not made anymore. I think we'll all have our own private collection to keep. But listen, I tell you what, this is great fun, this bike, and you know, I think given that we're still in the early days of technology and development for these bikes, I think we've got lots to look forward to. This is lovely. So the Harley Davidson Livewire, this was a real sort of surprise for me, this bike actually. I have to say, I really did enjoy riding it. It's very different from what I'm used to. You know, the lack of noise, the lack of vibration, it's just so smooth. And the big sort of USP for me is it's how linear the throttle is on the bike, and how much drive the bike's got right from the get-go. It's really well set up, it handles well, this bike, it doesn't feel heavy. It's just a nice motorcycle to ride, and I think if this is what the future looks like for electric motorcycles, I don't think we've got anything to worry about. I think we're going to have a great time with electric motorcycles. But let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of electric motorcycles? Would you buy one? Are you looking forward to seeing what what new technology comes along? Drop it in the comments. But listen, thanks again for tuning in to Cymoto Photo. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please drop a like and a subscribe. It costs you nothing and it helps the channel out no end, and it means that I can bring you more content like this in the future. And for all you Triumph fans, don't you worry, we've got plenty more Triumph content coming. But thanks again for tuning in to Cymoto Photo, and have a cracking day.